Hey, so I am fresh off my very first Bufo ceremony, and it really wasn't anything like what I expected. I, my first account of Bufo was from Michael Pollan, and he said, first hit from the pipe, and he was rocketed into the stratosphere, and he hated it. He was just like, I don't know, going at supersonic speeds with no shield. And I guess there was a little bit of that. And also, apparently, it was a not a super high dose. I think she said 55, whereas normally it's 80 to 100. Um, and sipped very slowly so that maybe so that doesn't happen. She said you can get what you need with a lower dose. You don't need the higher dose. And I think most people took 40 actually. I opted for the higher dose um, that was available. Oh, my cat's trying to get out. Just a second. She might try to rock it out of here. Um, there she goes. Come on, girl. Yeah, so there were five other people, a couple. Um, I'm not going to give any more information than that. As far as people, it's not my business to share that. But yeah, the first person went, and the facilitators. There's just a lot going on. There were four people with rattles and bowls and music playing and scents, perfumes and smoke. And I just remember thinking, yeah, like, wow, that's really chaotic. Um, and I was already kind of amused. And, of course, they say Bufo works backwards in time as well as forwards. And, I did some pretty good prep work as far as going through the influences in my life, such as, distant, immature parents and a religion that makes essentially unreachable demands and threatens eternal hellfire if you don't meet them. But also, it's somehow loving and forgiving too. I don't know. It didn't make any goddamn sense. And you weren't supposed to ask too many questions. So basically, kind of a reign of terror. Um, and a culture, of course, that values achievement above all. And then, you know, my own learning about history and science and the way people who think differently are persecuted and the way people just fuck each other up all the time. And kind of an overall sense of like, maybe we shouldn't do that. It kind of feels like we're all the same. And the more I learn, the more it seems like we're all the same. I mean, there's no hierarchy, right? Some people have this talent, some people have that talent, some people have this proclivity, some people have that. But who the hell is to say what's better? It's just all different. Um, and like, why not just like a potluck dinner? Just take what you like, leave the rest. Or like the way that I do, I deal with religion now or spirituality. It's like enjoy what resonates with you and leave the rest. And don't make a big fucking deal about it. Don't cling too tightly to something. Don't take it too seriously. And, reading Carl Sagan, that was a huge influence. I think he pretty much maintained a materialist worldview until the end. But within that, he also held space for wonder and the unknown. And, you know, using logic to whatever, or even game theory, to whatever degree made sense within whatever narrative you have of trying to be kind to each other. You could kind of logic yourself into being kind. Like, the tit for tat is sort of the optimum in game theory, which means you don't just sit back and take abuse forever, but anytime somebody tries to be better, you welcome them like a prodigal son, and you respond in kind. Which unfortunately the world is full of people waiting for somebody else to make the first move, and often taking advantage of it when they do. But yeah, theoretically, tit for tat is the best strategy, even if it's just plain self-interest that you have in that you care about, because it's just lose, 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 lose when nobody trusts anybody's move. And that's what we got. You see it. Everybody's just too afraid to be taken for a sucker to make or trust any first move. And of course, there are people who make moves and then renege. Anyway, what the hell was I even talking about? Yeah, influences in my life. So, yeah, so Carl Sagan, he made me want to, come up with a hydrogen car. That was my dream when I was in high school. I thought somehow I could get us humans driving smarter. But then, you get a little older. Sorry, I got a little older. I can't speak for you. And I could see the ways in which it doesn't matter what technology we have if we can't get our shit together to collectively give a shit. And science doesn't know how to do that. Science doesn't know, and neither does politics, apparently. Who does? Who does? Maybe nobody. Maybe the glitches are, I mean, maybe they're meant to be played out, and this is what it looks like, and you can't do anything about it. You can't fix it, but you can find ways to beautify it and enjoy it as it goes. Anyhow, yeah, there's a part of me that's still, kind of given up on achievement as a marker of worth. And now I'm trying to give up on being a good human as a marker of worth, by which I mean we're already worthy. We don't need to prove it. We don't need to do something to make ourselves worthy, to make ourselves good. We can. This is where I want to go, and I just still feel like I need permission to go. We can follow our groove, our bliss, our heart, whatever you want to call it. What feels like our place, whether it makes sense or not, whether it looks like a good person or not, whether it looks like somebody else's idea of a good person or not, whatever the hell it looks like. It doesn't have to look like anything. That's something, I don't know, maybe it's like I'm just hearing it more often. It seems like it's something Angela's saying more often these days. It doesn't have to look like anything. But anyway, yeah, so the first person went. And yeah, I'm not going to say anything about that, but I volunteered to go second. I was just kind of bursting to go. I've been bursting to go for a long time, you know. It just feels like um but yeah, so going sort of backwards in time, this week has been a really big week for settling into what is, without it needing to look like anything. I don't know how else to put that. But just last trailing threads of identity and structure got thinner and thinner. Structure. Like I can build a fucking structure. Anyway, um, build your little sandcastle. Anyway, yeah, so I went and, and my intention was let go of any last entanglements with identity that don't serve me or anyone. I feel like there was more to it, but my memory is already so patchy. It's almost like I just want to be here and not try to remember things, but I want to make a video so that I guess later on I can look back and have some idea of where I was, what it was like while I have any memory of it. Um, yeah, I took the long, slow sip, and then I lay back. And I had not looked up to see what the ceiling looked like. So it was like I was looking at a totally strange room, and I was like, where the hell am I? The ceiling and the ceiling fan. And it was just I don't know, that kind of crystalline, that sort of emptiness. Words are not going to be very useful, but I'll do my best. Yeah, almost an airless emptiness, no temperature, no quality, and then this ceiling and ceiling fan, somehow visible anyway. And people kind of on the periphery because I was laying back on my back. The facilitators doing their facilitator thing. And I don't remember being able to hear anything in particular. If there was sound, it was meaningless. And they were like spirits, like just flitting in and out of my periphery. Kind of fascinating. And kind of pressure built, like a cosmic sneeze, the kind of thing where if I had tried to clamp down on it or resist it, it could have been absolutely hellish. It was also in a sense that, okay, if this keeps building, my head's going to explode. Not painful, just intense. And it's just like, okay, let my head explode. Um, I should mention quickly that before we sipped, we all read a placard that basically said, I'm already perfect. Everything I need is already mine, is already in my experience. Everything is already made of love. Everything has all been given in love. Um, Everything will be given in love. Everything is chosen by my higher self. Like just sort of manifested perfectly. And of course, by now I'd totally forgotten that. But I think it kind of lodges in your tissue a little bit of just like, this is fine. And I have done plenty of surrendering in general, like getting to the point of trusting the universe a lot more than I ever did before. So like, it's not going to kill me if I let my head explode. It's not going to kill me if I don't know what the fuck's going to happen next. I don't have to worry. Something else is taking care of it, and it's fine. So yeah, so I let my head explode, and I don't really know what happened after that. It's kind of like blank. And then next thing I know, I'm kind of aware of the ceiling again, and I kind of understand it's the ceiling, and the facilitators again, kind of in the periphery, and sensations in my body, and thoughts. My watcher at this point was very lucid. Even if I couldn't control my body, the watcher was very lucid. And it was kind of like, is this God watching? It doesn't feel like God. Because, like the watcher state, the observer state, the awareness trap, um, kind of felt like the awareness trap on steroids in a way. Like, damn, I am really stuck in this watcher state. But, like, I didn't really care because it was like, I'm watching all this fucking weird, hilarious shit. And it was just like the ceremony was hilarious. The ceiling was hilarious. The fact that I was there was hilarious. The fact that there were sensations in my body was hilarious. The fact that any of this is like it is, and just so like it is. Like it was sort of like everything was super like it is, if that makes any sense. It was like extra like it is. It was more real than real, but also so flimsy, so rice paper thin. And I was kind of laughing, and then I remembered I was supposed to breathe, so I started taking big breaths. And every breath I took, just the exhale was just laughing and laughing and laughing. And I take another big breath and just totally just laughing. And I was kind of in control in that I could sort of gasp air in, and then once the air was being let out, like whatever happened, and it tended to be laughter for I don't know how long. I have no idea. But it was just everything was just so funny, and then I could just go like going like this and like stop and just laughing and laughing. And and yeah, just when it kind of you know subsided, I sat up and tried to look everybody in the eye, just because why not? More beings. And and there's a part that knew, like we're all gonna put on our human suits again very soon and pretend like we didn't just experience what we experienced. Because what can you even say about it? It's not. I mean, I have no idea what anybody else's experience was. Nobody else really shared. I mean, we didn't share. We just had soup afterwards and ate pretty much in silence, and then kind of chit chatted about the weather and stuff. It was very, and there was a little bit of, I talked a little bit about my experience, and we talked a little bit about other plant medicines, and yeah, there was a little bit of deeper talking, but mostly it was like we were all kind of dazed, and that was that. Um, and yeah, that sort of watcher kept trying to make sense of it, and that was part of what was funny, was it would have like, oh, that this is what this means. Oh, this is what this is about. Oh, this is why this is like this. Oh, this is, and I it was just like, who the fuck's saying that? How the fuck do they think they know anything about this? Um, anyway, one of my thoughts was, seems like there's no way that things are, and therefore ceremonies are just to have ceremonies for the sake of ceremonies. Like they they justify their own existence. That's it. I mean, it's like they're the sounds and the symbols and the smoke. It's all just part of the pageantry of making something interesting to experience based on different people's tastes. You're just there to experience other people's tastes. By definition, whatever the hell they do at the ceremony is exactly what needed to be done. So that's why you don't have to take it so seriously. Um, And somehow that was kind of funny too, that I think they're wise enough to know that it's all just even the ceremonies are just a show. And that's great. Like, why the fuck not? Ceremonies are awesome. I love ceremonies. It's a fun way to spend time. Rattles and yeah, music and good folks and humility and just wild, well, in this case, toad venom stuff happening that is inexplicable and unusual. And you can make whatever meaning out of it that you want. It's free for all. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what it means. Maybe you make something up. Maybe you don't. Who the fuck knows, man? And I noticed on like there's some big tapestries, and one of them, my eyes landed on an owl, and that's kind of what I associate with Isla. And I was like, wow, if there's a heron close by, because that's what I associate with Ollie. It's gonna be wild. And then I shifted my eyes 6 inches, and there was a heron. And then not far from that was a falcon. And I was like, all right, and my husband's last name means falcon. So I was like, that's it. The next bird I see is my bird. I get a bird now. So the next one I actually what I saw, I thought it was a hummingbird. Turned out it was a badly drawn dolphin. But next to that was a hummingbird. So I'm like, okay, I get the hummingbird. Cool. Um, and I was also thinking after the ceremony how I was listening to music, listening to Hotel California or something on the radio, and thinking about how music is such a strange thing because if there's no time, there's no music. Music, it moves in time. It's vibrations changing in time, right? As far as, I mean, yeah, that's so if there's no time, you're just here, and music is moving through one note at a time. I guess, how do you experience music if there's no time? Anyway, um, I I thought to myself, time creates the possibility of anything. Music, trees, growing trees, anything humans do. And then some of us somehow get to bask in timelessness while it all unfolds, which I'm not really there yet. I still have a pretty developed sense of time because people count on me to do things at certain times. Um, and it's probably, I mean, it's obviously possible to have people count on you to do things at certain times, even without a sense of time. You can, in a given moment, set your alarms or whatever. But but it's still a little bit out there for me to imagine I'm just at one eternal still point and all this stuff is flowing through. Um, Maybe at a retreat sometime with practice that'll come, but I'm not too worried about it. But it is another strange paradox. Let me see, is there anything else I want to say about it? I mean, everyone's experience seemed quite different. And again, I took a pretty, a moderate dose. Oh, and then uh, after a while, I was offered a low dose. That's kind of this. She called it a meditative dose, so that I could kind of be in the spirit of it while the next person was, you know, deep in the medicine. And it was just so fascinating to see, like when she was standing up there like this, she just seemed like I don't know, some kind of goddess. And everything was just so the way it is, just so itself, so manifesting the way it's manifesting at a given time. Just being right there with it, but also with the kind of rice paper thinness of, yeah, but I am left once again reminded that what I really need to do is practice and discipline. For some reason, that still scares me. You know, Bufo doesn't scare me, but practice scares me. I don't know why that is. Sitting still for 20 minutes when I'm not in a retreat somehow feels like a hot potato. But I I love plant medicine. It's just fun. It's just fun. It's just cool. It's just like hanging out with a cool friend. But as far as progress, I need to practice. I care about progress. Maybe I don't. Maybe this animal, doesn't care that much. Maybe I shouldn't resist that. As Angelo said recently, when you don't resist even resistance, when you understand that even resistance can't be resisted, then it's just pure exploration. Whatever comes, comes. You don't even need to worry about it. And, you know, even without dedicated practice the way that it seems like I should do, um, progress is made because that kind of thing happens in the course of life sometimes. Or, you know, without setting a timer and sitting on a cushion, but just sort of sitting there. So it feels like it's not official. Or while driving. I mean, I don't do it in an unsafe way, but anyway, anything else I want to say about it? I think that's it for now.